Hello again, I'm Alex Miceli, and this is my one take from beautiful Northern California. Going cash today just for this one take because why would I put on a jacket and a tie? Come on, what are you thinking? All right, we finally got here. US Open, Pebble Beach. A lot of anticipation. Obviously, every week when you have a major, it's anticipation on top of anticipation on top of anticipation. And then finally, they hit a tee shot. That'll be today. So what are we thinking about? What are we looking for? Well, first of all, this golf course is what we would call a prototypical US Open venue. High rough, rough around the greens, small greens, firm fairways, firm greens. Oh, you mean like they used to play? Yeah, like they used to play. Absolutely. Ernie Els says if you had to have a venue that would be the quintessential US Open venue, Pebble Beach, and its setup this week would be exactly it. The difference is usually with Pebble, you have this Poana problem with the greens. But according to a lot of players and watching a lot of players hit putts, these greens are as good as they've ever been. Then you got to factor in the fact that you can kind of tamp down anything you want on the greens anymore under the new rules, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Tiger Woods won here, Tom Watson won here, Tom Kite won here, Jack Nicklaus won here, and of course the last winner, Graham McDowell. What do they all have in common? Outside of the fact they're professional golfers, nothing. Some were long, some weren't as long, some were better iron players. They all had success on the PGA Tour to some extent, some larger than others. Obviously, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, of course. Tom Kite, Tiger Woods, all of those guys played great. They all had a great resume coming in. Graham McDowell, not so much, but they call this Pebble Beach Golf Links. Now, it's about as linksy as your backyard, but it's still a links kind of idea in your head. And then you got that Pacific Ocean over there, so everything kind of falls into place. So maybe that's why Graham McDowell. Bottom line is whoever is this week is going to have to find fairways and find greens and be a pretty good putter. And not only find the greens, but be under the hole. Because if you're above the hole on these greens, not a good idea. Okay, so where do you go to? Well, I could go the win, place, or show thing, but there's so many guys I like to talk about that I'm going to do this quickly, and I'm not going to go and be limited to 3. I can't be limited to 3. It's against my nature today. Let's go backwards. Graham McDowell, 100-1. Has he got a shot? Absolutely. 100-1 is embarrassing, especially after what he did in Canada. So he's certainly a guy you'd look at. Henrik Stenson, 60-1. Are you serious? Henrik Stenson, 60-1? Henrik Stenson has been playing quietly well. So quietly well that I like Henrik Stenson coming into this championship. Now don't tell anybody because I don't want the odds to change before I can get a bet in, but I like Henrik Stenson, especially at 60-1. Bryson DeChambeau, bad season so far. Bad season, 50-1. Maybe that's legitimate, the way he's played, but yet at the same time, this is the kind of guy that would play well around Pebble Beach. Remember, length is not an issue. Remember that many of these players will not be hitting driver off the tee. Bryson DeChambeau may be a guy that comes out of nowhere. And when I say out of nowhere, whatever that means. Justin Rose, John Rahm, Jason Day, Justin Thomas, Adam Scott. All 25-1. All good looks. All good looks. Kind of like Rosie a little, talking to him yesterday. Kind of like Rosie a little. I don't know why. Gareth Lord's on the bag because Fooch is off the bag because of the heart surgery and just couldn't come back well and had to take some more time off. Gareth Lord, by the way, if you don't know him, he was on Henrik Stenson's bag when he won at Troon at the Open Championship. Patrick Cantlay and Jordan Spieth, 16-1. Now we're starting to get into some numbers I can really understand. Cantlay, because of winning Memorial, all of a sudden he's the flavor of the month. That's great. Good for him. We'll see what happens. Jordan Spieth, that's a little more interesting. Starting to play much better. Sounded better when you talk to him. 16-1, I don't know. I like it. Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, 10-1. I'm not a Woods fan here for many different reasons. Most people say I'm not a Woods fan for many, all the time, which is maybe true. Don't like him here. Don't like him, period, really, but that's another story. Rory McIlroy, after a very, very solid win in Canada, and 10-1, whoa, maybe. Then we get down to the two, what I would say, co-favorites, even though Brooks Koepka's at 8-1 and Dustin Johnson at 7-1. Many people talk about Dustin Johnson. I think Dustin Johnson's a great player. I mean, just a great player. Brooks Koepka is a major player. And until somebody beats Brooks Koepka, it's Brooks Koepka. How could you decide on anybody else? Brooks Koepka 8-1, good betting odds early in the week. We'll see what happens. Brooks Koepka for me is the winner, but don't be surprised if you see a Graham McDowell or a Henrik Stenson type guy kind of inching their way up there, trying to unseat somebody that's trying to be a 3-time consecutive U.S. Open champion. Only one other person has done that in the history of the U.S. Open, Willie Anderson, when none of us were born. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm Alex Miceli, and this is my one take from beautiful Northern California and Pebble Beach.